The Congress on Tuesday targeted Narendra Modi after he and Chinese President Xi Jinping shook hands and briefly spoke at a formal dinner for G20 leaders in Bali on Tuesday. Their face-to-face encounter in public since the start of the military standoff in Ladakh more than 2 years ago. Sharing a video on Twitter of the two leaders shaking hands and speaking briefly, the Congress gave names of 20 Indian Army soldiers who were killed in the violent clash with Chinese PLA in the Galwan Valley in eastern Ladakh in 2020. Names of 20 soldiers who were martyred in the violent clash with Chinese soldiers in Galwan Valley, the party wrote. Footage from the Indonesian Presidential Secretariat official YouTube channel showed Modi getting up from his seat and shaking hands with Xi, who smiled. The two leaders, who were wearing batik shirts, then shared a conversation for a few minutes. Shortly, several people gathered around them to capture the moment on their mobile phones. The last time Modi and Xi were at an in-person multilateral meetings and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit at a Samarkand in Uzbekistan, they had avoided each other. India and China's relations have soared since the start of the standoff in Ladakh sector for Line of Actual Control (LAC). The clash in the Galwan Valley had resulted in the death of 20 Indian soldiers and at least 4 Chinese troops, the first fatalities along the LAC since 1975. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday met Chinese President Xi Jinping at the G20 dinner hosted by Indonesian President Joko Widodo in Bali, Indonesia. This is the first on-camera handshake between the two leaders since the breakout of the border standoff between India and China in eastern Ladakh. The two leaders were seen shaking hands and exchanging words at the dinner. PM Modi also met US Secretary of State Antony Blinken at the G20 dinner. However, as per the agenda available from both the sides, PM Modi and Xi Jinping are not going to hold any bilateral meeting at the sidelines of the summit. Earlier in September, the two leaders came face-to-face at the annual summit of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Now, this was the first time the two leaders came across each other after Ladakh standoff. However, there was no report of handshake or exchange of pleasantries between Modi and Xi at that time. China has said that the border tension should be separated from overall bilateral relationship, while Jaishankar has consistently said that India-China ties cannot be normalized till there is peace and tranquility in the border. In the G20 summit, PM Modi also met French President Emmanuel Macron and UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak briefly. There was, however, no word on the much-anticipated meeting with Canadian PM Justin Trudeau after the initial spade work was done during a meeting between the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and his Canadian counterpart Melanie Joly at the recent East Asia Summit in Phnom Penh. While the special G20 sessions took up most of the day, PM Modi had at least 8 structured meetings lined up for today, including the ones with Macron and Sunak.
Now be the first to know about the latest updates on our new news app. Go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest news.